released as we're ready to announce the dates for when Premium Plus will be released. Another thing I wanted to highlight that Reed already mentioned again is that beyond the larger projects that we're working on of name changes and Premium Plus, a lot of our development resources and especially QA resources are going to be Uplift. I know Uplift is this nebulous thing and you don't get to see immediate impact from it. And so it may be frustrating to feel like we're standing in place and not actually doing. Rest assured, in the background, we're actually spinning the wheel very fast, and what Uplift entails is moving all of our infrastructure into the cloud. In order to be able to move the infrastructure into the cloud, we have to make updates and changes to how the different parts of Second Life talk to each other, and all these different moving parts, and then we have to test and make sure that, you know, the way they talk to each other still works in the cloud, etc. The upside of it will be seen first in performance improvements. The tests we have so far with our progress show that, you know, every sizable piece that gets moved works much faster, noticeably faster. But the feature improvements that moving into the cloud will allow us, like placing servers for people in Australia, closer to people in Australia, etc., won't really come until later this year. Sure, why shouldn't region crossings be improved in the cloud? I don't know, I can't speak to functionality change as a result.
Thanks, Grumpity.
EAP should be coming to the viewers much faster than the cloud. EAP is in RC today. Now, we've increased the RC cohort. If you would like to use the EAP viewer, you can always download it on the viewer download page. I'll give you a link in just a second. The team working on EAP trying to iterate very fast to get the remaining graphics bugs out and the viewer shipped. But that's cute. Yes, Elizabeth, you're right. Thanks, Inara.
Appreciate that, and thanks, Inara. I did want to remind everyone that this is the web user group, so while we're happy to answer the questions that we can answer about things like the viewer and server and things along those lines, for the most part we want to try and stay on task. There is, in fact, a viewer user group where you can talk directly to the developers working on those things. Hey, Hope, that's a really good question for our governance team. They have a governance user group as well. We can't talk specifically about governance actions that may or may not be happening.
I hope, unfortunately, this highlight, while we were willing to implement the demos flag, we didn't believe that it would really get to the heart of the problem. We can't force everybody to comply with the rules in this particular case with the demos. But the flags are being actioned, and would
Yep, we can be Q&A today. Or now, I guess. Assuming Kira and Grumpity have nothing more to add. I've made it through my list. Lucy, same answer as last time. We don't have a definite date on that yet. So we'll let you know when we do.
Okay, I'm trying to catch up to the scroll back. Elizabeth, I'm sorry, I can't find her question. um, so would you please put it in chat again, and I will try to answer the next ones. Aliona, we would love to get that feature requests. I could have sworn at some point we did it, but perhaps we never did or never got to it. I feel like we have cookies that set your preferred number of listings. If you're not seeing it, yeah, file a bug or a feature request and we'll follow it up. Thanks, Dakota. I guess, yeah, we'll send it to QA and, run it down. We'll see what's up. Brooke Fairplay, you should receive an email every time your items are delisted. Um, I don't know why you're not receiving emails. That may be better troubleshot with support. So they can help us figure out whether maybe you're not getting email from the marketplace at all, or if this is just those specific emails aren't going through, or something else is going on. Um, uh, Stephanie, it is tremendously difficult for our support team to be able to trace specific items after they have been taken by malicious actors in the case of an assessment. Um, and I think that addresses Elizabeth's question as well. Um, it, it would take many hours for the support team to track down every case when items are bought after an account had been taken over by malicious actors, because what they will do then is move them from account to account to account to make it more difficult to trace, of course. There are some cases where the support team does this, and this takes a fair amount of work from them. Getting further to the root of the issue and to this conversation, um, we have been remiss, and the process that has been used in the recent years for assessment is unfair to merchants. We're reviewing the steps that we take in these cases, and we're going to do better. The the team is reviewing the recent batch of cases and addressing them. But what we need is a better. Um, 2FA is on the roadmap. There are many hurdles in implementation, uh, which we are figuring out ways to overcome. Other additional account security that may be less complicated for us to implement along the way is on the shorter term roadmap, and we hope to be able to roll some of those changes out really soon. One thing you really want to make sure is that you have verified your email address so that any communications regarding account security actually get to you email. Lucy, uh, what we're looking at is notifications if a login has been made into your account from a new location or machine. Beck, I don't disagree.
The way we're looking at things right now, um, the various 2FA options that we're considering and working through. Most of them would at least initially be opt-in. So it's very helpful to have that suggestion. We'll put it on the list. As you know, like here. Let's make this also an option. Thank you. Mama P, the news on um, Premium Plus is one, it's called Premium Plus. That's what we're going to call it. Two, we're working on it right now. Got a lot of stuff in the air for it. We are hoping for. Ooh, do we even want to talk about vague timelines, Grumpity? Soon. TM. After name change. I can tell you that much for sure.
It's
Definitely
plus.
Plus. It's so Plus. This was the deal with the devil that was made. By the way, I'm the devil.
No relation to Lucy, daughter of the devil, though. It's another devil. Oh, I like that premium plush.
We're not changing it now, but I do like that.
Don't kill me. We're not gonna change it now.
Premium plush comes with a bear.
Absolutely.
Yep, everybody update your Linden bears. Understood, Beck. Glad to hear it.
Would like to get all the bugs from 2019 fixed. Joe will take a look at that Jira again and see where it fits in the timeline.
We should work on getting all the bugs from 2018 fixed as well.
I think we work in reverse order, though.
Yeah, Elizabeth knows what I'm talking about.
So we have an internal Jira project, and the very first bug in that Jira project is build a time machine. Well, actually, I lie. I'm so sorry. SL1 is Second Life should grow to dominate the entire world, thereby making us the de facto world leaders. SL2 is build a time machine.
Yeah, still working on those. That was 2003. Mumpy, you did not miss the ETA for the next Linden home reveal.
Because the ETA for the next Linden home reveal wouldn't be announced in a user group.
Except that it kind of just was. Go, Kira, go.
Well,
Wait, what? It's not an ETA.
no. Summation.
I'll accept it.
Um, Stephanie, I'll elaborate on the question for a larger audience. I believe this pertains to the issue of giving merchants an option to disable gifting on every individual listing. Um, the purpose of it is to avoid these fraud vectors that we had been seeing, where an account is fraudulently taken over, for example, or some other event occurs, and then the bad guys buy items from gotcha merchants and gift them to another account. The problem is that preventing gifting on these items won't solve the underlying fraud issue. Um, it will just make it a teeny little bit harder because they'll need to move the Lindens or they'll need to move the item in world. Both of these are not terribly difficult, so it would be a little bit worse than whack-a-mole. Because the amount of effort on our end would be actually larger than and on yours as a merchant would be larger than the effort on the other end to just use a different vector to achieve the same. Sonia, the email people seem not to get, meaning an email when an item has been unlisted. A notice on the merchant's page. I don't know all of the details involved in an action taken when a listing is unlisted. I really feel like this would be better addressed in a governance user group. However, if you put this in a JIRA, we'll follow it up with the governance team, unless in a governance user group. Having a notice on the merchant's page is a possibility. I don't know why you're not getting notifications for unlisted items. I believe if it is a key issue, then but if it's flagged, then it is. You know what? We're gonna follow this up and figure out how we can give merchants more information when their items are unlisted. I would still suggest you talk to support if you're not getting emails that you should be getting now. Make sure your email is verified. Yes, Stephanie.
Lucy, not necessarily. Um, we're constantly prioritizing, trying to figure out what the right thing is to do. Not all of our resources are being spent on last names and uplift. While they are the primary projects that we're working on, we are still have plenty of room to fit in other stuff here and there. So just because it's not one of those two things doesn't mean that it's permanently on the back burner. Beck, it's possible. Feel free to submit a feature request.
So with the gifting fraud vector, and we've gone back and forth on this quite a lot, both internally and in user groups. With the gifting fraud vector, it's not the gifting that's the fraud vector. Lucy and others who have said that securing accounts would go a long way towards addressing this is absolutely right. The fraud vector really is the account takeover. The fact that items from a store can be gifted, if they couldn't, wouldn't prevent people from committing other fraud, right? They would just purchase them and move to other accounts. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat. You know, Lucy, after the last meeting, I was like, I've really been an ass to Lucia. I should try to be nicer. But you're just asking for it.
Oh man, see, I was looking through Wiki. Why don't we have donuts? We should have donuts. Grumpity, where's my donut budget?
Uh, I'll get right on it.
See, Spidey wants donuts.
I stole it for name changes.
Oh,
Alright,
sorry.
everybody blink
Apparently,
here.
all your donuts went to name changes. No donuts until name changes. I believe I was cheerful in response to a snark from Whirly, but it was a long time ago, so the details escape.
See, Beck, if only we had had like a name, I don't know, suggestion contest, something along those lines. That you
Which
could
is
have suggested
closed.
something like donut.
Closed. Kira is not reviewing any more name suggestions.
She's already got like 6,000 to
Unless
go
you
through.
give her donuts, though. If you give her donuts, she might change her mind.
Don't do that. She steals all of the donuts for name change. Don't feed
I'll go
that
sell
habit.
them. I'm sure somebody suggested donuts somewhere on this list.
Hope, go ahead.
Oh, you weren't lying. Okay, hold on. Let me read through this. So I think what you're asking for is probably some documentation on exactly how the search functions work. Um, and I think that sounds right, and I don't think that that's a bad ask. Can you please put in a feature request?
We
If that
do
documentation
have
doesn't exist,
documentation on in the knowledge base, but we
it
can
might
certainly
not be as
review it.
fine pointed, as like how to optimize. Lucy, I was, I don't, no, I only meant that I was searching for the answer to your question, and I came across that wiki page and was amused by it. Do not take that as gospel truth.
Hope that'll be great if you Jira and give clear examples where it doesn't work as expected, and we'll try to address the questions. And by we, I mean Reed.
Yep.
I mean, if he does an extra good job, he could maybe get donuts.
Don't you tease me. Kira steals some of my donuts.
Donuts.
Tori, the secret is that I do all the things anyway, so.
All the things?
Well, a lot of the things. My brain can only handle so much.
Lucy, what do you mean? Parcel traffic calculations?
Oh, Lucy, that's not on us. Yeah. That'd be better for probably the viewer user group. Oh, were you? That's interesting. By whom?
Ooh.
I can't see any way that that would be a web issue. But okay. I mean, I'll look into it. What was your question? Yeah, I'm taking Simon's Donuts. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't even really know where to begin on that one, Lucy. It's beyond my ken.
Sonia, it works for objects as long as you own them. D, that's right. Desi, to answer your previous question, there's not a good way to flag an entire store right now. It's one of the things we're reviewing in our policies to figure out if we can do better. There's a number of legalese issues involved there that I would need lawyers to bless.
And with that, Lucy is correct. We are over time. We wanted to get that answer out before we called alt. I need to move along, but if Grumpity wants to stay and chat with the rest of us, she can.
I love you all very much, but donuts and coffee, I think.
Indeed. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next month. Just a reminder,
Thank you
it
all.
is the first Wednesday at 2 p.m. unless you hear otherwise, but for sure, that's when we'll do it.
What do you mean,
you should be
Dory? I just
updated.
said I love you all very much.
Yeah, what is that? We just spent an
Just
hour loving you.
wow.
All the love. And we're going to do it again and keep doing it.
In a month, though.
Well,
Count
yeah.
without donuts.
Listen, I've got a lot of love to
that's
give.
true.
I need to store it for a month.
Spidey, right? There's love and then there's donuts. Okay, bye.
Thank you.